The following is a paid preview for a game seeking funding on Kickstarter. The product seen here is a work in progress and is subject to change during the duration of the project. Hello everyone, I'm Ferdinand the Cardboard Stacker, and welcome to the Kickstarter preview to The Primary, which is a game about the American voting system where you're one of the candidates trying to get delegate points and try to get these super PACs and all these sort of stuff in this little voting game. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a quick look, and after that, let's see my thoughts on it. In the primary, the goal is to have you, the chosen candidate, to become the next leader of the United States. Over the course of 12 rounds, you'll be touring all over the US, leaving your influence, and maybe even get a super PAC. As one of the candidates, you have a special power and start with some influence cubes. In the first few rounds, there will be no voting taking place. Soon after, some regions will vote. The candidate with the most influence wins the region and earns delegate points. Regions may have secondary delegate points that will be given to the candidate who placed second. In this game, it's all about planning and making the right moves at the right time. Each player is given a hand of cards which they have full access to. They will select 4 cards, which will be played in order in each round. Some will be moving to new regions, rally their current region to place influence, broadcasting negative ads aimed at their opponents, and trying to gain influence. Players are free to leave their influence on regions that have their voting day on later rounds. But once a region is finished voting, that's it for that region. Cards used in the round will return back to the players for the next round. An event card is also played at the beginning so that it may change the rules of play for a round. After the final 12th round, the candidate with the most delegate points wins the game. Alright, so that was just a brief overview of the primary. Let's see what I have to think about it. First of all, it's a programming game, and what's really cool about this, it's a very simple, and it doesn't kind of like be one of those like very much of those programming games with the, most of them are with robots, but this one's about the political system and trying to plan out everything in each round of where you're going to go or what you're going to do, which is really cool, and that you're more or less thinking about, which cards to play, and you have a lot of actions you can play from your hand, as in, you can either set up getting a super PAC, which will give you a lot of influence cubes, but if you don't do it correctly, you might get 0, or you might just get 2 and play too much and waste a lot of actions on there. You can also play ads, of course. You can put your influence around the around the country and these regions here, but what I do like is that you are also trying to get these influence cubes. You have a supply of them with you, but in order to actually use them, you need to put it in front of you, and which costs you cards, and this is where either the fundraising or the super PACs come in, but then you have to put it in. So it's all that balancing effect of what you should do. Should you, instead of playing the fundraiser to get some influence cubes the easy way, you can play a few of the super PACs and hopefully get a bunch of cubes there, and then also laying down your cubes onto the map and hopefully scoring that way. So you can either go to different regions that may score later, put a bunch of cubes there and work up to get fundraising, and then soon enough go to the regions that may be scoring and maybe fight out with the other candidates in there. So that's what I really like about this game. Now, I do tend to like games that do have an event deck or some sort of event deck system in there. And well, for here, it's it's just another event deck, but I like how some of the cards are designed. Some of them are just either moving cubes, or you can move somewhere extra around the regions. And one of my favorite cards in the event deck is the cards that you played for your actions will have to they'll be on hold for the next round. So that's where I think that's really cool, and that you may have to think ahead of your ahead in order to which sort of cards should I play? Should I play these cards this turn? And I know they're going to be locked, and then I'll be playing these cards instead. So this double thinking of what your the other players are going to do here, and what you're going to do is and the event deck makes the game a little bit more interesting. Now, for the theme of the game, which is the American voting system, particularly in about the primary, it's rather fitting, I think, and that it works very well. It is a little abstract, and I mean the regions are kind of clumped together, but that's for like gamery reasons in there. Also, it just like, if you're going to score for every 50 states, it's not going to work out just for that game. And maybe there's a game like that, but for this one, I think it does work. It does make it fast, and I do like how some of the regions will score either one set of delegate points or 2 sets of the delegate points. It does make sense of you're trying to, there is a strategy of, going to the states and putting your influence in there, and hopefully you get the most influence. But if you don't kind of take care of it, and another candidate might swoop in and just put a bunch of cubes on there, I think it just, makes perfect sense. Now, one of the things that I really like what the designers has done in the game is that there really isn't like any parody of something, or this is not satire of the current events or that's happening. It's just pure voting. You just get a candidate, you're trying to work through there. It's like pretty, it's pretty plain of what's going on. There's nothing just like, making fun of something in there. And I really do like that. So it can work in almost any, gaming space, even though there are a lot of people, and I know there's always a lot of people in game groups that have, different political views, but this is something that's really cool, and that they kept it this way, keep it very neutral, and I do applaud them for that. And the last thing I do like to note is that there is a solo mode where you're up against a candidacy robot, and you just have to beat him. It kind of works, in a way that it's kind of like a boss, and you're going through the country before, he does, and he has his own agenda for that. So if you want to look at that, there is a solo mode available. And for my final impressions of the primary, I think it's a solid programming and area control game that really embodies the American primary election, and I think it's a wonderful and impressive little game, and it has my vote. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos on board and card games. This is the Cardboard Stacker, and remember to keep on stacking games.